times. Let's talk about them good times. When we can live, laugh, restore, and lift one another. Got to have hope, faith, love, moving forward. Good times.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk with Lady C, where I am helping to build one business at a time. I am so excited about season 2. I have some great guests that I'm going to be bringing before you. I want you to make sure that you tell your friends, you tell your family members, you tell everybody to tune in to my special guest on today with Michael Smith. How are you, Mr. Smith?
I'm doing great, Lady C. It's my pleasure to be here today.
It is good to see you. And so I understand that you've been doing some traveling.
Yes, just got back from Nairobi, Kenya. I was out there for a wedding, but also had to minister while I was there. But I just got back on Tuesday. I'm excited to be back.
Awesome. Now, you know, everybody know you for doing multiple things, right? From selling clothes. I know my audience out there going, oh yeah, selling clothes, selling cologne. He also is an author as well. And I remember that book because I remember emceeing it. So tell me, what inspired you to write the book? Let me start there.
We were all, of course, going through a pandemic. People was in tough times, difficult times, and I had more time on my hand. But again, I wanted to express, well, actually, I was on a plane one day and God gave me the title, Seeds to Success. So it actually developed while I was traveling, but of course the pandemic was going on. So I availed myself to those things that God was giving to me to help people to be successful in their journey in life. So
that is really good. So if you had to pick 3 things from the book and being successful, and what would it take? What would you say? What would those 3 things be?
That's the principle I live by. Of course, it's consistency.
Yes.
I don't care your education. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care your background, your journey. I just believe if you be consistent in a thing, you'll see the rewards of your consistency. That's the principle I live by. So, consistency.
I believe that. I absolutely believe that. And so we know you to also be a dresser, right? And so what inspired you to open up your store, Michael, too?
I guess being asked to style people, being asked to dress people, being asked, what should I wear for this? People wanted my opinion on how to go to events. What was etiquette? What should I do? What I shouldn't do? So I guess that whole concept of being asked how to dress, and now a lot of people admire my style. So I wanted to open a store, of course, that was named after my son. But at the same time, it'll be able to give people some things that I will wear, and that's pretty much how the store started. Yeah.
Okay. Well, certainly I like your style of dressing, but what I want to ask about your style of dressing, how do you know what to wear when, or what's appropriate? Or because it seems like when you step out, everybody, all eyes falls on you. Audience, can y'all agree with me about that? All eyes are on him. Like we just waiting to see what is he gonna wear next, or if we know we're gonna see him, right? We know we better be dressed a certain way. I even had to go change, right? I even had to go change my own clothes, right? So what makes you know what to wear when? I think that's a good question, because sometimes you really don't know. Well, what should I wear? I don't want to be overdressed. I don't want to be underdressed.
Yeah. Well, of course, black is my favorite color. Black is going to always be a winner. Black is always classy. You can't never go wrong with black. So if you ever think what I should and shouldn't do, stick with black. You can never go wrong with black. You know, add a little accessories to it, nice shoe, you straight. You know, but at the end of the day, I stick to what works for me, and I think a lot of times people compare who they are, and they'll start dressing like this particular person. They'll lose their originality of what you like. Like, I always go with, if I'm in the store shopping and you may not like it, or my sister may not like it, but if it's something I like, I'm gonna wear it because it fits me. You dress what works for your body style as well.
Okay, that's
so you have to know your body style. Everything that looks on a mannequin may not look good on you, and you have to accept that and own that. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. It looks good for the mannequin, but it just may not be your body style. So your body style, the complex of your skin, your personality. Like your dress is also a reflection of your personality. Most of the time we dress how we feel. So if you watch people, observe people, most of the time you can tell what kind of day they're having by the way they dress.
Wow.
You know, so those are a couple of things I've learned over the years, but you can never go wrong with black.
Okay, I like what you said about black, but I know you to be a person that don't mind embracing color. Exactly. It doesn't matter what color it is. If you like it, you're going to wear it. How do you get men to wear pink? Let me ask that question.
Most of the time it's centered around, of course we do October, you know, you got breast cancer, you'll introduce it like that. But if a guy's confident in wearing pink, you know, I don't think there's no problem with it. You know, pink is a nice color with some nice white slacks or some white shorts, some khakis, you know, it depends. Like, but they have to be open to that. There is no that a man cannot wear pink. I think there's pretty much a taboo conversation or people that put the stigmatism on that color, you know, for years. But again, in this age that we live in, it's no question of your sexuality if you have pink on, you know. It's just it's a warm color. It's a welcome color. Most guys may not do it, but in the generation we live in, it's a normal thing. So people have embraced it where we are now. Okay.
And I totally agree with that. I do think that, I think it's good for, like you said, for people, just embrace who you are. One of the things I'm thinking about what you said earlier when you said it may not be your, did you use the word body style?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Because I have to go back on that one. What do you mean by that? It may not be your body style. Somebody may not know.
Like spandex is not for everybody.
Right.
And so I just used that, so I don't have to go any further with that.
Say no more. As they say no more. So audience, y'all heard that spandex. That's not for everybody. And are you one of these people just because they have it in your size? That doesn't mean you should wear it.
Exactly.
No, okay, because we talk about embracing ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Right. I totally agree with that. Tell me, what would your suggestion be in terms of getting more fit, eating healthier, and even give some suggestions? Because I think that in the season that we are in, and where, especially with this heat just being tremendous and what it is, I can remember as being a child, we can go outside and play for 2 hours in the sun. I don't believe it was this hot when we were outside playing. And so people, my concern for some people is making sure that, you know, drinking water and eating healthy, and what gets you there, because a lot of people are struggling with just trying to eat healthy.
Yeah, with that conversation, you have to be intentional. There's no other word to describe that conversation without being intentional. When I go to the restaurant, okay, make sure I'm intentional about what I eat. If I'm out in the town, I got to make sure I'm intentional about what I put in my body. So that's an intentional conversation. Even if you offer me something to eat today, it may not go with my diet. I have to say, okay, I got to pull back. This is not what I need in my body. Rather, I'm suffering with high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever conditions I may have. I have to be intentional about my health. I have to be intentional about exercising. I have to be intentional about if I'm on medication. That's an intentional conversation that everybody has to have with themselves. I can't desire for you to go to the gym, or that has to be something you want for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's an intentional thing, you know, getting up. If you're going to take a walk every day, if you're going to ride your bike every day, if you're going to do some small weights, that's an intentional thing that you have to make sure that you do.
Okay, that's really good. And if somebody wants to get started, you know, some people just like, I don't even know where to get started. I want to exercise.
Small victories are victories. Like, it doesn't,
that's good.
You don't have to start with, okay, I'm going 7 days a week, 3 hours a day. No, just small victories. If you just start on Wednesday for 30 minutes, okay, I did my Wednesday, and just be consistent in that. Go back to that word. So you'll get more results with that one day, being consistent with that, with any other thing else. So just being consistent with that.
That is really, really good. I'm glad you shared that, because I know that you enjoy working out. You make it seem like it's easy. I don't know how exactly easy it is, but he make it seem like it's easy. So you are doing so many things in the city. You know, your name is in every household, right? You are aware of that because you are doing so much. I know when you turn 50, how did it feel to turn 50? Let's start there.
I think I got so wrapped up in the appreciation and the faithfulness of God to make it to 50. I started there, first of all, because the day and time that we live in, there are a lot of people of our color that don't make it to 50, so you know, especially in the state that we live in now with all the murder that we have every single day. So I got caught up in the appreciation of turning 50. Not that I thought I wouldn't make it, but just the appreciation of turning 50. And of course, I gave God all the glory for that. So I didn't feel different. I was just excited about sharing with people that I love my crossing over that whole milestone of being 50. So I kind of wanted to get caught up in that whole thing, but God's been good to me.
Oh, yes, he has. Oh, yes, he has. The man is truly blessed. He truly is an example of everything he put his hands to shall prosper. He is doing some great things. What can we expect from you on the horizon? Because you are not one that sits still. You are not one that's not doing anything. I don't care what he's doing. Then we at the next event, right? He's already planned it a year in advance. So come on, tell us what we can expect coming up.
Of course, with this new affirming as an apostle, I'll be doing more international traveling. So I've already started that. God's been opening some doors already with that. I want to set up some other little hub churches in other cities, setting up pastors to do those kind of things. That's what my mind is now. I'm going to pay off my house early. I want to do that. Just do some other little small things to make sure my son is fit for generational wealth and those kind of things. But yeah, I'll be doing more apostle work.
That is really good, really good. Certainly can see you moving in those areas. Want to talk about when you brought up your son and with everything that is going on in the world. How would you encourage young people? Because I feel like young people really need to be encouraged. They are dealing with fear. They are scared to even sometimes walk outside and play in their front yard for thinking something may happen to them. They're afraid when they go on the campus, something may happen to them. Some are even afraid to go to the mall or skating or play basketball outside. So what would you say to encourage young people?
It probably is not an encouragement. It's probably more of a correction.
Okay.
I would like to normalize removing cell phones from your hand. I'll start there because I think our young people, these are in the generation that we live in, they got to have this phone in his hand like all day.
Right.
Normalize removing this from their hand to understand there is communication, there's a world, there's a life outside of this.
Okay.
That's our main problem of the hour that we live in. This right here.
Okay.
They're influenced by it, they compete with it, they compare with it, and the list goes on. So this is our main problem of this generation. It's not so much what's going on around us, it's literally this. Okay. So normalizing the life that we had when we was coming up without this.
Right.
That we achieved so much, that we acquired so much, that we saw things from a different perspective so much, that we value life, that we value time with our parents, we value eating at the table without a cell phone. We value so many things that are so essential to our success as individuals outside of this, that they don't have the privilege to have those moments.
That is really good. So you think that there needs to be more discipline in that area, like as opposed to your child having their cell phone for 24 hours, there to be a period of maybe 8 hours they don't have the phone, and certainly not at the dinner table. And it is taken away. I do agree with you from just having natural sit-down conversations. We've got to get back to the point where we can have conversations without our phones. Actually, I personally think it is very rude for someone to be on their phone and you have someone in front of you talking to you. To me, that is just very rude and disrespectful. Now, I do understand sometimes things come up and we have to use our phones, but I do think that we need to get more to communicating with our words. It amazes me how we can text somebody something ugly. We can put something ugly on social media about them, but they sitting right in front of your face and you can't even open your mouth. Oh my Lord. Am I preaching? I don't mean to preach, Michael Smith. I don't mean to preach. I mean, we've got to learn discipline. I think it takes discipline to do that. And I also think that we need to care enough about one another in order to do that. One of the things that I noticed and you building different businesses and just doing different things that you were doing. You're not afraid to get started and start a new business and doing whatever it is God has placed on your heart. I need you to tell our audience what motivates you, what pushes you, because your son is not that old. You were motivated way before that. So what pushes you to keep opening up multiple businesses?
I think initially my push and my drive came from wanting to be the first successful person off my mother's side and my father's side. Like, I'm the first person to get a college degree, go to 4-year college, finish, and the list goes on. So I guess that's where my initial drive came from. And just being exposed to other environments, being exposed to success, being exposed to travel, being exposed to the nice things of life. I think that allowed me to be motivated as well. Like, that's something I can have. And I think sometimes our environment, it locks us in, but then there's a whole nother world that we haven't seen if we don't get out of Louisiana, if we don't get out of our city. So travel is so important for all people, that you can see things from a different perspective, because if we get locked in on our house, our community, our school, our systems, but there's so much other things going on in the world that we just don't have a chance to enjoy. So just having those opportunities at an early age to see different countries, to see different states, to do that travel. So that was a part of my success as well. So I want to make sure that my child is well traveled as well.
That is really, really good. I think it is good that we see a whole nother perspective. Go wherever you can go. Once upon a time, we couldn't do anything because of 2020. We couldn't go anywhere. And so now doors are opening and we're able to travel more. So I think that is a good thing. And I also think that, and I said this earlier, when you are the biggest person in your circle is too small. Your circle is too small. You got to have a mentor. You got to have somebody that you look up to. And that makes it seem like it's achievable. So who did you look up to?
Who did I look up to? Of course, my mentor and then my pastor at the time, spiritual journey wise.
Right.
On a natural level, I don't think I really had a quote unquote mentor wise. I just wanted to be the best me, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
You know, that's how I didn't even pin say, okay, I just wanted to be the best version of me. You know, so I understood education was important. Yes. I understood respecting my neighbors or my whoever was important. You know, I understood self-worth and self-motivation and self-drive, certain characteristics that I pull from to develop who I am today, that if these other things fall away, I still can bounce back and be resilient with whatever situation. That's been pretty much the story of my life. Like, if I've lost something or if I've misplaced something, had a bad season, I wired myself to always bounce back.
That is really good. Well, in the Bible, it's so a man thinking in his heart, so is he. So obviously it was in your heart. And I know that your mother played a big role in your life as well. I know that y'all were very, very, very close. And I think that makes a difference too. And even how you even honor her, even to this day, that truly blesses me, because you don't see a lot of, I don't think young people realize how important it is to honor your parents, because you just never know. You just never know, you know, and you don't get a do-over. It's like, I don't get a chance to go back and make this right. Once they're gone, they are gone. That is it. So I want to just throw that out there for free. Honor your mother and your father so that your days will be long here on this earth. So I want to talk about the churches. The man, oh my God, has added another church under his belt. Let's talk about the second church.
Well, of course, it's called, we're working on a Nehemiah project, and I just put my plug in right now just in case you want to donate towards my project. I did purchase, got the keys to a new building in Baton Rouge. Of course, prior to the pandemic, we had 2 churches in operation, New Covenant and Jericho. After the pandemic, we kind of downsized, you know, strategy-wise. I wanted to make sure people was healthy, people was living. We didn't want to put people in any extra exposure of the COVID. So we kind of downsized and merged both churches. So since then, God has shifted us, God has opened doors, people are coming back. Some haven't come back, but yet still that God opened the door for us to purchase another building in the Baton Rouge area. So we're excited about that. And we want to pay that building off in 1 year. So that's what I'm working on now, the Nehemiah project. So when we go into the building, it'll be paid off, mortgage-free, debt-free. We'll have the keys and the deeds. That is my prayer. July next year. So that's what we're working on now. So I'm actually having a meeting this Sunday with the church about that whole building campaign that we're ready to launch.
That is absolutely amazing. I'm telling y'all, he is doing some great things in the city of Baton Rouge, Baker, and the surrounding area. So what are you going to be doing when you look in the future, 5 years from now? What do you see yourself doing?
5 years from now, positioning someone to take over my position as a pastor. I want to make sure legacy is there. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to invest 20, 30 years into ministry or into anything, whether that's business, whether that's education, and you have no one to leave that to. It'll be a waste of all that I've done for 20 years. If something happened to me that the vision died, the vision shouldn't die when I die. Someone should take up the baton and take over the mantle and move forward and take the people to another level in God, another place in God.
That is absolutely amazing. Well, you heard it from the man himself, Michael Smith. He is a mover and a shaker. He is doing some great things in the city. I also know that the mayor really honors you in Baker, and that's another set of open doors for you, which is also a blessing. So I want to encourage everybody, when I say everybody to be on the lookout for what Michael Smith is doing. The man is a legend in his own right. He really is. And what I love about what you do is that you don't mind helping others, which I think is absolutely amazing. I can truly say that. I know he and I kid and joke around a lot, but I will say this: if he can help you, he will help you. And so, because part of what inspired me to have Let's Talk with Lady C is the fact that I always wanted to encourage somebody to go out there and connect with somebody else that has a business, and maybe they can connect the dots for you to meet somebody or can possibly find them a job. And so I want you, if you know of anybody that's hiring and that needs some workers for whatever the case may be, please make sure you share that, because that's important as well, because there are some people that are looking for jobs and they can't seem to find something. And so a lot of it is, we know, is if you know somebody, right? If you know somebody, you just get my foot in that door, I can do it. So I'll ask you, do you know anybody that's hiring?
Off the top of my head, no, but I get calls all the time about people needing people to work for them. So I'll definitely relay that information over to you if it comes across my desk. It
sounds good. And if you wanted to invite somebody to New Covenant Christian Center?
That's every Sunday. New Covenant Christian Center, 6515 East Myrtle Avenue in the city of Baker, Louisiana. I'm on Facebook Live. You can catch me, Michael Smith, on Facebook. On Instagram, Silky Slim 7. You can catch me on Instagram as well. So I do a weekly prayer on Wednesday. We did it this morning, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, Morning Glory. It's amazing impartation every Wednesday. So please check your social media platforms and get at your boy.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today with Bishop Apostle Dr. Michael L. Smith. Yes, of New Covenant Christian Center. And I want to encourage you to follow him. I want to encourage you to check out that prayer on Wednesday mornings. We all need prayer. I want to encourage you to pursue your dreams. I want to encourage you to make sure that you watch Let's Talk with Lady C, who is helping to build one business at a time. That's all we have for today. Bye-bye.
Let's join Lady C by sponsoring these businesses who are making a difference in Baton Rouge and the surrounding area. If you'd like to be a guest on Let's Talk with Lady C, go to her Facebook page, Caroline Henderson Perry, and complete the application, and one of our staff members will contact you, or email perrycarolyn42@gmail.com. Special shout out to producers Vincent and Christy Perry with Perry and Perry Productions. Music created by jazz violinist Sean Ward with SW Experience and singer Nicole Henderson Spike. Special shout out to the sponsors: beautician stylist Melissa Gaines with Glam Beauty Bar, Image Garden, Giant Media, and Bayou Brick Masonry. Let's Talk with Lady C appears on Royal Witness TV, social media, Facebook, YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. If you're interested in being a sponsor, please email or call Lady C at 225-253-1346. Let's build one business at a time.